That's okay. That's fine.
I switched from beer to whiskey, so it's a little less cholesterol, calories, you know?
Making healthy choices.
And it takes less.
Get it done faster.
When it's done, that's what I always say. You stick it right here, President. Just depends on the size.
Okay. And it is 6 o'clock. Stands for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Well, just a reminder to silence your cell phones. We'll start with roll call.
Mayor Sherman.
Here.
Councilor Basil.
Here.
Councilor Gorell tendered her resignation earlier today and will be discussing the vacancy in staff report. Councilor Lindstrom.
Here.
Councilor Scalise.
Here.
Councilor Spradlin.
Here.
Councilor Tyree.
Here.
Very good. Next, we have the approval of the agenda. I know we have an addition to the agenda.
Bob Beiersdorf with Allo for their end of construction presentation.
Perfect. And that will be under visitors and delegations.
And then
Are
I
there-
have,
Are there any other?
I do have one.
Okay.
On item E, it's for the 2025 budget
Mhm.
instead of the 2023.
Oh, I'm not going to go back in time. Very good. Anything else?
That was it.
Okay. So with that, I would look for a motion to approve the agenda.
I move we approve the agenda for the regular meeting December 9th, 2024 with the additions.
Second.
Good. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Councilor Lundstrom.
Yes.
Councilor Basil.
Yes.
Councilor Tyree.
Yes.
Councilor Scalise.
Yes.
Councilor Spradlin.
Yes.
Mayor Sherman.
Yes. All right, that motion passes. Approval of the minutes. We've all had a chance to read through the minutes of the last meeting. Are there any corrections or revisions on that? If not, I'd look for a motion to approve the minutes.
I move we approve the minutes of the regular meeting of November 25th, 2024.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Councilor Tyree.
Yes.
Councilor Basil.
Yes.
Councilor Lundstrom.
Yes.
Councilor Spradlin.
Yes.
Councilor Scalise.
Yes.
Mayor Sherman.
Yes. And that motion passes. All right, visitors and delegations. First up, we'll have representatives from ALLO.
All right, I was told it was only going to be a photo op, but now I understand I get to speak a little
You
bit.
get to speak a little bit.
Appreciate that. Everybody else appreciates that. My name is Bob Beiersdorf. I'm our general manager again with ALLO Communications or ALLO Fiber. I appreciate having the opportunity, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, and City staff. So what we wanted to do today was come by and present a certificate of construction completion of the city of Brush. And this takes a lot of work to make these happen. And in addition to that, I wanted to come and personally thank each of you for giving us the opportunity to build fiber in your community and make this happen. The subscriber rates are going very, very well, so we're very pleased with the work that we did. I'm sure that you all have played a role over time in promoting ALLO, and have had experience with us. So special thanks to Monty and Tyler for bringing this to fruition and making this happen. We also brought a number of these, and they're just kind of fun facts about what happened while we were doing the build. And I thought I'd just share a couple comments on here, and you can look at the rest on your own. But the construction began in February of this year and completed in September of this year as well. So that's a really fast build. It's a smaller community, so you would expect that to occur. But it went very well, and that was very much in part to the hard work of the public service group, and the partnership that we had with the city. So a big thank you for that as well. The team did a tremendous job in leading the community and helping us being able to permit timely and get the work done timely as well. A couple of other key things I'll point out. 61 miles of fiber was laid here in Brush, and that doesn't come as easy as maybe what it seemed based on the timeline, but roughly 52% of that is underground and 48% is up on poles strung across aerially. So gives you a feel for kind of how the construction occurred and what you can expect going forward as well in terms of our maintenance and ongoing operation of the network. So got a little bit up, a little more above ground than what even we would probably want. But as the opportunities occur to bring utilities underground, we will be right here with the electrical. As that moves underground over time, and we'll be putting our fiber underground as well when that, as we go forward. So the other thing I would point to as well is that there are opportunities to also expand the network outside of just city limits. So where there is additional densities just outside of city limits, we'll have the opportunity to expand the network and what we call edge out the network into other parts of town to be able to serve other parts of the community as well. It won't just be city limits. So prepare to see our trucks and our branding and our personnel on an ongoing basis here in Brush. So with that, I have a couple of key people here who made this happen. Will Smith is with me. He is our senior manager over all of our Colorado activity, and then we brought James in here as well, and he was your local construction manager and made this happen in terms of boots on the ground every day. So we're very proud of what they were able to do with on our behalf, on behalf of the city as well. So that's really what I had to share. Are there any questions that might be useful? I'd really like to get a picture, if especially with you, Mayor, but I'd love to have Monty and Tyler in that picture as well, if you'd both be open to that. And then I'd like to have our team be in that picture as well. So any questions first that or thoughts around, did we perform well in the construction? Is your community semi-happy?
I always have to say the bad, not the bad news, but the harder questions.
Sure.
So I know a lot of work around town. We've had different contractors, subcontractors working on different parts of it. But we will, over time, the ground will settle in different areas. I just want to ensure that Allo is going to come back and have those things fixed, or the subcontractors.
Yep.
And when a project is this large and that many people around, there's going to be some conflicts here and there with properties. I just want assurance that they're going to be taken care of.
Absolutely.
And things like that.
And if you have any thoughts, Monty, related to any areas where you feel that restoration wasn't done effectively, love to know about those, like pronto, and then we'll get teams, and we've got dedicated restoration teams to take care of anything that, if anybody's unhappy, we'll have teams out here to take care of, where a truck drove over some grass and feel like we got to do some more, put some seed down coming into spring, or raise that a little bit with some dirt, or, whatever is necessary. So, yeah, we'll be right here for you.
Second question.
Yeah.
I just remember in past years, not with Allo, but with others, a lot of times they'll string like the orange cable across the lawn or in the alleyways.
Yep.
And it would be months or years before they're undergrounded. Are all of ours going to be 100% in the near future, or where's that going to sit?
As soon as we start doing, and we call those drops, so that's between the structure, the house or the business, out into the right-of-way, or into the easement in the back, whatever the scenario might be, and then connect it to the network. So those drops, anything that hasn't been, and we're pretty quick to get those buried, but anything that hasn't, our only challenge in the winter months is that sometimes the ground gets a little frozen, and they have to sit just a little bit. But then as soon as things warm back up, we get people out to take care of those. Sometimes if it's a pretty tough winter, then they might sit there for a while in the winter until things, ease up a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
But yes, really important to us to get those underground, because it protects them as well, not only on behalf of the customer, but also on behalf of Allo. So it serves everyone well.
Good deal.
Yeah. And usually, anything that you're seeing, if anyone hears from a resident that the temporary line or the drop is sitting above ground, just, reach out to us, let us know, and we'll make sure we can validate that we already have. We know in our platform that tracks all of our customer data, we know pretty much where we have, not pretty much, we know where our temporary drops are. But if you're hearing from a resident and somebody's unhappy that a temp drop is sitting out there, don't hesitate to let us know and we'll get somebody on it immediately.
I'm sorry if you already answered this. Are you guys the front or the back? I know because Vero did one, you did the other.
Yeah, it depends. We try to be in the back.
Okay.
Vero has a tendency to be up front,
Okay.
in the front rights of way. We can be a little more efficient in the back. We can serve more residents with both the actual fiber as well as the structures, and they're a little less, some would say more intrusive if you're in the back, but we would say once it's in, less intrusive.
I had some people that had some on their front, so.
And there would be some in the front too, but if we can get in the back, we're going in the back, but there are places where it's going to be in the front right away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You bet. Good question.
Picture time.
All right.
All right.
All right, let's take that picture.
The flag maybe?
And I'd also like to thank specifically Pat and Dale, Public Works. They're incredible people to work with, and, without their support and guidance, we wouldn't have been as successful, so appreciate them.
Very good, thank you.
Over here. We take, can we get, all right.
That's me.
Did I get a handshake in this picture?
Oh, okay.
Is that guy? Right here? Okay.
Yeah, I need to get.
You got a hold of it.
Okay, a little bit crowded. Why don't we do it here instead?
You like it there?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, with brush in the background?
Oh, very good.
There we go.
Like our kids are streaming a game downstairs.
Oh.
Upstairs, and all the things are going.
Oh, now we're,
There was a couple times
I think we're good. All right.
that it kind of.
nope, we're still in the back. What the heck?
How about
What's
this?
wrong with me?
Okay.
Okay.
Full blast of things going. Yeah, we'll never hit that. Yeah. So,
Anymore.
yeah.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Mary. We'll send that to you.
All right,
All right.
thank you so much.
Hopefully you can find a good home for it.
And I was like,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I just restarted my all stuff. Everything is, any problem since. Our spectrum.
Very good. Next we have citizen comments. Do we have anyone wanting to comment during our citizen comment period? You get 5 minutes to speak. Address council, anybody? Nope, all righty. We'll move on to management. Our first item is a first reading of an ordinance regarding a traffic code. Miranda.
Back in 2021, when we updated the model traffic code in our municipal code, I missed a section where it mentioned the old 2003 version. So this is just cleaning that up.
Okay.
Lorena didn't miss it, I missed it, so I apologize for the oversight.
We all missed it. Very good. So we need a motion to approve on first reading and publish.
I move we approve on first reading ordinance number 910-24, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Brush, Colorado, amending section 8-1-20 of the municipal code regarding the model traffic code.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, roll call vote.
Counselor Scalise,
Yes.
Counselor Lundstrom,
Yes.
Counselor Tyree,
Yes.
Counselor Spradlin,
Yes.
Counselor Basil,
Yes.
Mayor Sherman.
Yes. And that passes. And we have another first reading. We'll have Tyler Purvis talk about. Right?
Do we need to do the public hearing prior to the ordinance, Dan?
Yes.
I may have put
Okay,
that order into that.
okay, so we gotta do the
I
public
apologize.
hearing first. Okay. So we have a public hearing, notice of application for franchise by Public Service Company of Colorado. So I'm gonna open the public hearing and get a staff report from Tyler Purvis. Is that more what you were
Yeah, that's
expecting?
fine. Sorry.
Okay.
All right, so our current franchise agreement with XL Energy is expiring. this month. And so, obviously, Excel has been providing their services in our community for a number of decades, and they would like to continue to do so. And in order to do so, an agreement does have to be in place. So we've been working with Excel roughly over the last year plus on revising the franchise agreement. So they sent to us a new template, just with the old language no longer being relevant, that we were able to review, Dan was able to review. We went back and forth a bit and came up with one that satisfies staff that we're bringing to council. And there's a whole process involved with this, hence the public hearing and the readings, the two readings for an ordinance as well. And then the Public Utility Commission has their own standard process as well that Excel is taking upon themselves to go through. And so we have our area manager, Hans, with us as well. So that's pretty much everything that I have, unless there's any questions.
Can we work into the agreement where we can hang our Christmas decorations on their poles?
We did add language to that. It was kicked back by their attorney. There's currently a process in which you can do that. It has to be submitted with some type of design specs that their engineers, if I understand it right, then review and say, okay, these are good or not good. But once they're approved in perpetuity, you can go ahead and put those on there. But just a blanket statement, which we tried to do on can we do this kind of at our own discretion, they said no.
Okay.
Go
But
through
there
the
is a process we can, okay, cool.
Correct.
So how often do we do this? Do we do it every year?
This specific?
Do we, every 2 years?
20.
20. Ooh, so if we work through that process, can we amend it? If we can put together a,
For the light poles?
yeah,
That's a separate process.
it's a separate
Yeah.
process?
Yeah, the process for approval exists already.
Okay,
We were trying to bypass that process and just have it in there so city
Have
could
it in
use,
here.
use
Okay.
wisdom and discretion. But
so we
Excel
don't
said,
have to
"No, we
wait
wanna
20
make sure
years
that
to get it
everything is-"
approved?
Yeah, they would make sure that the poles weren't going to put something with no, wind, basically just knock down a pole because it's taken over by the wind or something.
No sales?
Yeah, no wind sales, Christmas wind sales on the poles, yeah, exactly.
All right, any other questions? All right, does Hans want to do a presentation?
I don't have a presentation tonight, Mayor. It's great to see everybody here. Yeah, just like Tyler said, this is our franchise and renewal agreement, franchise agreement renewal process. So started about last year with my boss, Andrew Holder, kicking this over to you guys. So these normally do take about a year is what I've seen. So it's a 20-year agreement for gas and electric service in the community. We just obviously appreciate the partnership, appreciate Tyler's edits and working with Dan to get things squared away for you guys. I don't have any more formal remarks, but just here to answer any questions if you have them, and look forward to working with you and continuing the good partnership we have.
Nope, I'm thankful for gas and electricity.
As am I. Yeah, and I think one positive thing, with the agreements in place, it really does stipulate how we're going to obviously work in right away, and to make sure that we're, both as a company and the town work together and have more established and frequent communications. I think there's some benefits. Obviously, you guys get the franchise fee that helps with your budget, and there's an undergrounding fund that the city can use to help kind of beautify different areas and take overhead lines and run them underground. As I was on my way, before coming out here, I did a quick look. You guys have a pretty good chunk of change sitting in that pot. So if you have some projects you're thinking of, or different parts of town that you want to spruce up and put some lines underground, you have a pretty good bandwidth to do that. The total dollar figure was a little north of $840. So just something to keep in mind for next year's planning purposes. And while the ALLO guys are here, I think it's important to note that we try to work really closely with our communication partners. You guys might have some of your facilities on our lines or on our poles and things of that nature, and so when those projects come up, try to work closely to make sure there aren't poles or random lines hanging out there for too long. So appreciate you guys. If you have any questions, I'm here. Like Tyler said, it is a process, so we do 2 hearings. We have advanced notices and things of that nature, and then once all the documents get signed, it all gets sent over to the PUC for their final stamp of approval. So it's a bit of a hurdle, but to make sure everything's squared away on the up and up.
Cool.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Public testimony. Do we have any members of the public wanting to make a statement? Does not look like it. Any other questions from council?
Nope.
Alrighty, I would look for a motion to close the public hearing.
I move we close the public hearing.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Basil?
Yes.
Counselor Lindstrom?
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi?
Yes.
Counselor Tyree?
Yes.
Counselor Spradlin?
Yes.
Mayor Sherman?
Yes. Alright, that motion passes. Now we can do the first reading of the ordinance. 911-24, do you want to, do I just need to look for motion to approve this on first reading, or do you want to say anything else about it?
I don't need to say anything else about it.
Okay, I didn't think so, just in case.
Sure.
It has your name. All right, so does anybody want to make a motion to approve this on first reading and publish?
I move we approve the first reading of the ordinance number 911-24. And publish.
And publish?
Second.
Very good. Do we need to read the whole thing? We probably do.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
I'll try to make this shorter in the future.
We approve and publish first reading ordinance number 911-24, an ordinance approving a franchise agreement with Public Service Company of Colorado for the right to make reasonable and lawful use of the right-of-way within the city to provide electrical energy and gas services to the city of Brush, Colorado and its residents.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Roll call vote?
Counselor Spradlin?
Yes.
Counselor Lindstrom?
Yes.
Counselor Basil?
Yes.
Counselor Tyree?
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi?
Yes.
Mayor Sherman?
Yes. All right, that motion passes. All right, next we have a resolution 2024-11 to adopt the budget. Chris Foster.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Great to see you all this evening. For your consideration tonight are several resolutions to adopt our 2025 budget. The first resolution is 2024-11, the resolution to adopt the 2025 budget. All public sessions and requirements have been met. On September 23rd, the department heads presented their line item requests. On October 14th, the city administrator presented a proposed budget. On October 28th, the department heads presented their capital requests. And then on November 13th, we did have the budget retreat, which was held where the full budget was reviewed. So this time we request approval of resolution 2024-11 to adopt the 2025 budget.
Would you like to make a motion?
Move we approve resolution number 2024-11, resolution to adopt the budget.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, roll call vote.
Counselor Lindstrom?
Yes.
Counselor Tyree?
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi?
Yes.
Counselor Spradlin?
Yes.
Counselor Basil?
Yes.
Mayor Sherman?
Yes. Right, that motion passes. And the next one.
Also at this time, I'd like to report on our highway users tax, another intergovernmental revenue that we do require a necessary annual report to be given. Our estimated revenue for 2024 is $155,675. Our budgeted revenue for 2025 is set at a conservative $155,000. These funds will continue to be used for street maintenance and improvements. There again, there's no action necessary. This is just a report for all of you to meet our annual requirements for that intergovernmental revenue. Moving on to resolution 2024-12. This is a resolution to appropriate the sums of money from the various funds in the amount of $21,159,644 for the 2025 budget.
Very good. Does anybody want to make a motion on this one?
I move to approve resolution number 2024-12, resolution appropriating sums of money to the various funds and spending agencies and the amounts and the purchases as set forth for the city of Brush, Colorado for the 2025 budget year.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Tyree?
Yes.
Counselor Lindstrom?
Yes.
Counselor Spradlin?
Yes.
Counselor Basil?
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi?
Yes.
Mayor Sherman?
Yes. Motion passes. Next.
Okay, and our final resolution is resolution 2024-13. This resolution is to set our mill levy for 2025. Your table file included a revised resolution, as the county assessor notified us at the end of last week that our assessed value was amended. So it went down from, the resolution has changed from the ones you received in your packet. Received the new certificate of assessed value on late Friday afternoon. Our mill levy has not changed. It does remain at 15.66 mills. And the only change is the levy upon the property tax revenue for the coming year to help satisfy our general operating expenses for the 2025 budget year.
Good. Look for a motion on this one.
I move that we approve resolution 2024-13, resolution to set the 2025 mill levy.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Spradlin?
Yes.
Counselor Lundstrom?
Yes.
Counselor Scalise?
Yes.
Counselor Terry?
Yes.
Counselor Basil?
Yes.
Mayor Sherman?
Yes.
Okay,
Good.
thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Oh, it looks like we have one more from you, though. The ARPA funds?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Mayor and council, the city continues to benefit from the COVID-19 pandemic by utilizing the ARPA funding that they received of $1,362,315.68 from the federal government. The U.S. Treasury requires the funding to be obligated and reported by December 31st, 2024. We have met a portion of that requirement in 2022. We did expense $258,503.75 and obligated those funds as well for the improvements to the Prairie Trails Park and also to Brush Housing Authority, to their North Point apartment complex. In 2023, we expensed $21,137.48, which was awarded to area businesses to assist them in their recovery efforts due to the loss of business revenue during and after the pandemic. Those monies were expensed, but they were not obligated. So we still have funds in the amount of $1,082,674.44, which was budgeted for downtown improvements in 2024, as well as infrastructure for the Prairie Trail Park and the Cambridge stormwater improvements. And then also we have remaining funds of $545,536.61, which are earmarked for the Westwood subdivision, housing development, Armbar business development, and the continued progress on Prairie Trails. So those will be what those funds will be used for. So at this time, staff recommends that council approve to report to the U.S. Treasury the remaining $1,103,811.93 as obligated to the following projects: the CARES business grants of the $21,137.48, the Westwood subdivision of $200,000, the Armbar development of $200,000, the CARES downtown improvements of $62,862.52, the Prairie Trail Parks of $395,000, and the Cambridge Street stormwater improvement of $224,811.92.
Very good. Thank you.
Mhm.
Would anybody like to make a motion on this?
I was gonna add that, just, I want to make sure everyone's tracking that we've spent quite a bit of it already,
Mhm.
the majority of it. The obligation is we just have to make sure by the end of this year, we have a plan in place to use the rest of the money, and that's those different agreements that we have in place. The only agreement that not 100% sure on is the CARES funding, which is the business funding that Tyler works on with the Chamber of Commerce. And on that one, we don't have like a true agreement, like a written contract or something like that. But after this meeting, we're going to talk about it a little bit more and see if there's something we need to generate between us and the chamber, just an agreement of some type, so the money is truly obligated that way. And that'll just be administratively taken care of.
Right.
Just out of curiosity, if it's not obligated, does it just go away? Do we lose it?
We do have to return it, yes.
Return.
We are
Okay.
required by,
Got it.
yeah.
Yep, return
federal,
the money.
yeah, laws to return it if it is not obligated.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the ones that are truly obligated, we have a contract,
Right.
whether it's a contract with the contractor or we have a subdivision improvement agreement, annexation agreements where we've committed funds to.
Yeah, and that is your comment, committed. You really basically do have to have something in writing. Even though if you haven't expensed the fund yet, but you are committed to spending, yeah, to a certain project into a certain vendor or contractor, yeah.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
Very good. Yeah, it looks like did a good job spending money. Those are good
Hard
projects.
to do.
All right.
I move we return unobligated ARPA funds not yet expensed.
What was the motion again?
We approve.
Is it wrong? The unobligated ARPA?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Approve unobligated
I move
ARPA
the,
funds not yet expensed.
Yeah, move unobligated ARPA funds not yet expensed.
Okay.
Close stuff.
I didn't hear it right, sorry. Second.
I didn't.
All right, any more discussion? Yep. All right, roll call vote.
Counselor Scalise,
Yes.
Counselor Basil,
Yes.
Counselor Tyree,
Yes.
Counselor Lindstrom,
Yes.
Counselor Spradlin,
Yes.
Mayor Sherman.
Yes. All right, that motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank
Very
you,
much.
Chris. All right, next we have Tyler Purvis with the local capacity planning grant.
All right, good evening, Mayor, City Council. I put a memo together and just recapping it. Earlier this year, we received a grant through the Department of Local Affairs through the Proposition 123 housing initiative that they have to try to help spur additional affordable housing within communities all over the state. And as part of that, they had a program, the Local Planning Capacity Grant, that we applied for and were awarded $84,000. And then in addition to the $84,000, the city had committed 20% more for the work of bringing a consultant in to really help us put together a game plan for the property adjacent to the golf course on housing, but also long-term planning too, as it pertains to what would make sense along Hospital Road there, on the privately owned property there, as well as along Mill Street, and comprehensively working on planning all of that together. And so we put a bid out for that. We used our new account that we have through BidNet, and which is exciting because we had 7 different contractors reach out and submit their, it was actually an RFQ, so submit their request for qualifications for that. So it wasn't just 1 or 2, but 7 that we got to go through. And so based on those 7, staff recommends a selection of DTJ Design as the consultant. They did provide actually less than what we were awarded for the grants. Likely it's going to increase a little bit more depending on additional scopes of services and that kind of thing. But that's a good place to start. And the reason why staff selected them was overall, of course, their proposal was the best. And what they submitted, plenty of experience. The scope of response that they put together mattered a lot, because a lot of them, I shouldn't say a lot of them, but most of them were just housing only. But they really worked in the factors involved with engineering, financing, agreements, all the different parts that we put together, and wanted to really bring this thing in a meaty way together through the RFQ process. So with council's approval, we are looking to move forward with this hopefully in January, and looking for an approval for us bringing on DTJ services, DTJ's services.
How soon will they start?
January is what we put in the RFQ, and we put in December that we would bring on our consultant, so according to their timeline, they should be able to get started with that.
Good. I'd like to make that motion.
We approve the local capacity planning grant RFQ award to DTJ service?
DTJ Design, yeah.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Tyree,
Yes.
Counselor Basil,
Yes.
Counselor Lindstrom,
Yes.
Counselor Spradlin,
Yes.
Counselor Scalise,
Yes.
Mayor Sherman.
Yes. Very good.
Thank
Motion
you.
passes. Thank you. right, going to finance.
Hold on, I'm trying to get back there. I got it. I move to approve disbursements and payroll for November 26, 2024 through December 9th, 2024, totaling $397,702.85.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Counselor Basil?
Yes.
Counselor Tiny?
Yes.
Counselor Scalisi?
Yes.
Counselor Spradlin?
Yes.
Counselor Lundstrom?
Yes.
Mayor Sherman?
Yes. Okay, motion passes. Staff reports, we'll start with Assistant City Administrator Tyler Burke.
Just a few things tonight. At our last meeting, we had talked about the work that Monty and I will do in Q1 on revising that component of our city code as it pertains to the building inspector and who appoints them and how that works based on our current structure, on how we actually do things. And I also mentioned, in addition to that, a variety of things that we've been keeping an ongoing list of that pertain to our land use code. And just so a lot of this will come to the table, first planning commission, then city council, Q1 of next year, but just kind of a heads up on some of the topics that we've uncovered. And a lot of these things, you don't know about them until you actually are in a project or are faced with questions. You have to go dive deep and you find things that you simply say, well, that's interesting. Wonder why it says that, or that doesn't make any sense, or that shouldn't be that way. And so, again, we've been making an ongoing list, and this is a great opportunity for us to bring it through the process and get community's feedback on it if they like us to make those changes or not. But some of those would be clarify some of the definitions of uses that we have, group home, nursing, manufactured versus modular. A lot of other ones where things come up and it's not really clear what code says. We want to clarify on survey requirements as well. A lot of different types of surveys out there. Open space requirements for individual lots, annexation, legal non-conforming uses, trash enclosure revisions, just a lot of inconsistencies. So that's just a short list of the kind of things that we're going to be bringing to the table. One of the questions that's come up a lot in the community over the last year is what about the houses that had burnt down? And so two of them that were lingering was on Colorado Avenue and then Juniper Court. And so on our office, we had been waiting for the state to sign off on their approvals, which are necessary for us to issue our approvals, where asbestos testing is done, and then if it's found, it has to be remediated. So we finally got that back from CDPHE. I should say the contractor got that back and brought that to us. And so demo permits were issued for the house over on Colorado, which has been scraped clean now. And then Juniper, we issued that one. Well, they haven't done it yet, but we expect to see that happen soon.
Tyler, isn't there one on Circle or no?
There is. I'll leave Dan or Monty to speak to that one.
There is. I reached out to the person who's in the first position to claim it on a tax lien, and there were some rules that changed at the end of last year that are kind of make it more difficult to figure out taking possession, but continually harassing him and the county. So sorry to that.
No problem. And then, yeah, so that's good. A couple of those are moving forward at least for now. A couple boards that I help support there, just a couple FYIs. So the Board of Adjustment that do variances, among other things, they are scheduled to meet in January for a variance request that we received for Maverick gas station for the sign area for 2 signs that they want to put on there. We've got Love's across the street, which is pretty big, and they want to do something similar on their property as well as one closer to the corner of the property once you get off Hospital Road and make a right on Crossway. So those will be going to the Board of Adjustment in January. And then the Historic Preservation Board, I don't think I mentioned this earlier this year, but just as a general FYI. So we started at the end of last year and putting together a strategic plan to give us a little more direction for the board. And so in March, we formally adopted that as a board to give a lot more structure to what we want to accomplish on the Historic Preservation Board. Anything that's over 50 years old technically qualifies as a historic structure according to how it's written, which I know we've kind of joked around about that before, that go back, that's 1974 as a historic building.
Yeah.
And some people are like, oh, really? But that's what it is. So, but we have a historic survey that was done back in 2004 that has dozens of properties that were studied out, and histories were given on those. And not a whole lot's been done with those over the last 20 years. And so this past year, we actually reached out to every single property owner, let them know about Historic Preservation Board, the possible benefits of having your building or your structure designated on a local level as historic. And then we sent them the portion of the report that was specific to their property as well, so that they knew the history of their property, from all the legwork that was done from a consultant back then. And then we've been following up with those different property owners, the board has, and finding out if they're interested in more information and potentially designate their properties as historic. You have a local designation, which is fairly simple, it's just done through our board. There's a state designation, a little more beefier process for that. And then if it qualifies, you can go for a national designation as well. And so we have different ones at different levels within our community right now. So if you're interested, you can go to our website on the Historic Preservation Board page, and you can look at what the strategic plan is. That's all I got.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tyler. Chief of Police, Brandon Flicksteiner. And just leave that right there.
Good evening. Actually, it seems like it's been a minute since I've been to a council meeting. Short report. So Rebecca Turner did graduate from Flat Rock Academy, so she is out on her own. She's taken a week or so off, just spend time with family before she kicks off being on patrol. She starts on the 16th, so super excited to get her into FTO and get her going. I wasn't here for the work session regarding recruitment and stuff for the police department. I think the city's done a fantastic job for laying out everything we possibly can to get people on board. It's a nationwide issue. Every big city, even big cities to little towns, are having difficulty getting officers. So I think it's just something that's we're gonna have to go through and continue to go to work with. I think it's just an issue with the environment of everything, but I think as it progressively gets more positive throughout the country, I think it'll get a little bit easier. On our side of things, I think the police department, we can probably do a little better as far as recruiting, going to academies and trying to do some of that more in-person recruitment versus kind of what we've been doing. So I'm hoping to kind of start doing that in 2025, and hopefully that'll kind of spur on getting some more folks. So see how that works out. To take away from the people that we're trying to get and focus on people that we currently have, I want to say it as many times as I can, the people that we have working for the PD are fantastic. Never failing to step up, never turning down any opportunity to come in and give a hand. We actually had an officer that's on paternity leave right now, but due to an injury, he was requested to come back off of paternity leave to kind of cover some shifts, and didn't bat an eye, didn't argue, didn't say anything, just came back in and came in to cover a couple of shifts, knowing that he's leaving new mom at home and missing some very opportunity with his newborn. So I can't think it can be overstated. The people that we have working for us here, it's hard to get people here, but the who we do have, I think, are doing a fantastic job, and I'm very thankful for every single one of them that are here. So I'm hoping that 2025 spurs on adding a few more folks to us and make it a little bit easier of a burden on everybody that's here, but we shall see how it goes. With that, I didn't have anybody questions or concerns, comments? I know I haven't been here for a minute, so if anybody has anything.
I was just going to mention Rebecca, her graduation. It was pretty fun going there and watching that, and amazing. She's a small town girl, and she lives out in Hillrose now, and I think she'll be a really good fit, but I think it'd be good to bring her to the council meeting, introduce her. And 16 weeks of FTO, is that what it is?
Roughly.
Yeah.
Correct. And then we'll more than likely do also a swearing-in ceremony that we do for everybody, which will obviously put an invitation that everybody is welcome to come and attend. So be on the lookout for that invitation. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Chris Bostron, Finance Director.
I just have one little item, and it is for the Finance Committee. The final December bills will be available here at City Hall for approval on Monday, December 23rd. So if you have an opportunity to stop by and sign those for the approval for those bills, that'd be great. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Miranda Packard.
I mentioned the vacancy in Ward 1 upon the resignation of Allison Gorell, and by statute we have 60 days to appoint another counselor to take that seat, and if we do not, then it goes to special election. So I'm going to start the advertising tomorrow, once I have a chance to look at the calendar and make sure that we can accomplish everything around the holidays and within the timeline that we have. We typically don't have the second meeting in December. Chris just referred to December 23rd. It generally falls right within the week where everybody's, on or off for holiday and everything. But we are looking at a special meeting December 16th or 17th. I put an email out earlier today. I'll need to know by the end of the day Wednesday, if I could, which works best for each of you. And then the Wreaths Across America.
So that was it's a special meeting to have our consultant come in and talk about the water rates that we talked about last time. Those requests, we got a little bit more information before council made a decision. And what we'll do is, since we're going to be meeting, if anything new comes up that needs action by council, we'll try and throw it on that one as well. But not too likely to have anything last minute, but just in case we do. Thanks.
Wreaths Across America, they were delivered this morning to our cemetery. We're going to be, the ceremony and the laying of the wreaths will be this Saturday, the 14th, I believe, at 10 a.m. It's a really touching experience for anyone who wants to participate. They're looking for volunteers, or you can just show up and watch the ceremony and see what all is involved. It's quite an amazing experience. Also going on this Saturday is the United Way Christmas Spirit Tree will be delivering gifts starting at 9 a.m. So if anyone wants to volunteer with that as well, we would welcome them at the old fire hall, which is now the recreation department, by 9 o'clock. That's all I have.
How many years does that seat still have on it? Allison's? Is it one or four? It's one.
Okay. All right, Danko?
I have nothing tonight unless you guys have any questions.
All right, Humpty.
All right, just a few items. Our city Christmas party was last Friday. Just want to announce that Nelzo from our street department, he won the karaoke competition. And it was kind of funny. I didn't know what to think about karaoke. I didn't think it was going to be a hit like it was, but we have quite a few singers in the city of Brush, and so it was a good experience, great food, great times. Kim did a great job with the party committee and coordinating that. It was a lot of work, and just a great event. I think everyone left very, very happy. A council person had asked about the library speed signals, those new speed control. I think they're digital lights that'll flash speeds and everything. And Dale Clark wanted me to relay that he does have those in. He's working them in as fast as he can. He thought they were going to get those up here really last week or two. But when they started getting those assembled, they realized that the poles that they have on in stock here, they don't match the actual digital signage. So they've got those on order to get the correct poles in. Downtown, the lighting, I think everyone's tracking that I think Justin might have brought it up at one point in time, but where the cut is at in lines, they just can't determine that, but they are looking at different options, and one option that Dell's heavily considering until they get everything figured out is maybe solar lights down there. He's looking at that as an option. He hasn't decided yet, but he just want to council know that he is truly looking at those, trying to get those resolved. The CARES program that we're talking about a little bit earlier, I just wanted to ask council's help. If you know anyone who's got a business that has facades they want to improve, roofs, bring them up to codes, etc., that CARES funding is there. And it surprised me a little bit we haven't had a lot more people come forward. We've had a handful come in and say they're going to apply, or they bring in partial applications, but we really need to get those funds expended this next year. But we don't want to wait till the end of the year to have this discussion. We need it in the first quarter, second quarter, be really getting ready to wrap those up. So get the word out. We'll do another push through Facebook just announcing what the program's about, and we'll ask the chamber to help us out. But we kind of an odd problem to have, but you got to spend the money, and we can't wait till the last minute. Last thing I was gonna mention, I think is just, if anyone has any concerns, issues, questions, just remember to give me a shout, and whether it's a phone call or email. Email is always best, or call, then follow up an email, just so I get the concerns, questions documented well, and that way I can action those. And that's all I have.
On those signs, Monty, I know like on Lowe's, they have a brush sign on their sign.
Mhm.
Is there a chance we can use that money to do something like at the tractor place with their signs? To put the hometown brush signage up?
With the CARES funding?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that falls into that category. Yeah, I don't think it falls into the right category. There's, if I remember right, there's 5 ways to use the funds, and housing, utilities, economic development in certain cases. Can't remember all the rest, but I don't think that would fit right in there. And the history on the Love sign is they, that's a very tall sign they had out there. They went above what our code allows for as far as height, and they got a variance, but part of the agreement is if they went as high as they wanted to go, they would fund that current sign that's out there. So Love's paid for that, and so it's kind of a trade-off.
One more question. What was the winning karaoke song?
Oh, man,
It was
it's
in
in Spanish.
It was really impressive, though.
Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah, it was really impressive. It was hard not to just get up and do whatever the dance.
He did a very good job.
Oh, he kept saying corazon, so something about the heart. So a lot of something about the heart. But anyways,
So on the lights not working downtown, I just off of what I read online. So we've got like a stubborn contractor that's not wanting to fix what they broke.
it's a dispute of they don't think that they did it, and then we think they did it, but it's kind of hard because everything's underground to see what actually occurred. And also there was some fiber going in as well, because it was originally the contractors putting in the traffic signals. They thought it was them. It wasn't long after that there was also, and I'm not sure which fiber company was working down there, but could have been them as well. But we'll have Dale give you a better explanation when he gets back.
Okay, I was just curious if it was something we could go after CDOT for, or if the subcontractors being a pain.
Yeah, and I think they were the primary ones because we know the regional CDOT person, and I've told Dale to visit with him again, see if because they're a contractor to CDOT.
Yeah.
And see if they could put some pressure on them.
Okay.
Very good. But lights downtown, the Christmas lights look really nice.
Yeah, they do.
Did you
Yeah.
get this year?
It's really
I
good.
feel like there's more this year. We got some electrical outlets fixed
Oh,
under
yeah.
the trees.
Yep, all of the outlets underneath the trees, they put in, what's the part called, Tyler?
It's just, raised boxes opposed to down in it where it was always shorting out because it was where all the moisture was, and so water would get in there and short it out. So
Yeah.
now they're elevated, and covered, which have reduced that dramatically.
And they all work except for
Yeah.
one,
Oh.
right in front of Ashley's office.
Except for one.
That's just your luck. But, no, it looks really good down there. And then just the history is we've said that every year we're gonna make improvements. And then Tyler's been working with the Chamber of Commerce, and they have verbally, not in paper yet, but they've been approved for getting some funding for some more lighting downtown. So that's kind of exciting to see that happen as well. The big string lights going across.
Yeah, that
Very
would be
cool.
Like I was saying, next year they're gonna get a bigger tree, huh? Is that the plan?
I think they're about as high as they can go on that corner. They raised it 4 feet or 3 feet?
4 feet, yeah.
They raised it 4 more feet this year, and then those trees are designed, you can just keep adding 4 feet. But on that corner, the base of it's wide enough where if you go any further, you'll be out in the street, and you will be blocking the sidewalks. So we're about at capacity.
It's really pretty.
Hang it from XL's pole.
Yeah, I think so.
Work on that.
And I guess there's one other thing I might mention, and Hans is here, but I've heard rumblings from the Rural Fire Board that there might be progress towards getting Xcel Energy's Pawnee Power Plant into the taxing district. So I got a head nod. So it's been 8 or 9 area managers or government relations persons ago that we had these conversations. So Hans is getting it done.
It's, we expect to join the tax district, we expect to join the fire district.
Yeah.
Plant.
Yeah.
It'll be positive for both the plant and for the district.
Yeah, and it helps out Brush too, because we've really supported more than what we ought to have over the years, but we hope that discussion goes well.
Awesome.
Cool.
Very good. Mayor and council reports. Do any councilors have anything to share? Nope. All right. I just wanted to say I was sorry to see Allison's resignation, and I do wish her the best, and we will miss seeing her up here, so. And I look forward to starting the process to fill that seat. That's all I have. So if nobody has anything else, I look for a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're going to work session.
Yeah, I keep hold of them just.
Yeah, I take them home, but I keep looking at them and go. If I do miss something, I try to go through it.
It's kind of nice to have.
That's Merry Christmas, I don't see it.